Hey everyone, this week we're talking about campus safety for you all, and I'm here now at the UVM Police Services office with the UVM Police Chief of Police, Lianne Tuomey. And so Lianne, we've all been getting all these crime advisory alerts and everything, and a lot of students are worried about the fact that it's more dangerous now, and crime, we've seen an uptick in crime. Is that true, or?
Well, over the course of the summer and over the course of the last year, there has been an increase in crimes against persons in the state of Vermont in general. I think what we're saying now, and what I want people to hear, is that because the students are just returning, they're just sort of adding into the mix of what's been going on in Burlington and Chittenden County and the state of Vermont, which means that there's more people out there that could be victimized. So first, robberies, thefts from people have been on the increase in the state of Vermont, at least for the last 18 months or so. As the students return, obviously they haven't been paying attention to that. So really what I would like folks to hear is that I want them to be aware that crime does happen in Vermont. Crime happens in Burlington. Crime happens at the University of Vermont. And that what I'd like everyone to hear is though we're relatively safe, indeed, I want people to be aware that crime is happening so they can take the steps needed to keep themselves and their friends safe. I mean, public safety isn't about the police keeping everyone safe. It's about the community engaging in personal safety and public safety and helping us all create a safe learning environment.
Great. And so what are some of the things that students can do to stay safe?
Right. So, and we have all of these things listed on our websites, and if you've looked at the advisories, you would have seen these reminders. What we really want people to do is be aware of what's going on around them. And I get that y'all are in your cyber world. I understand that completely. Sometimes I lose track of what's going on around me. Some of the ways that you can do that are to take an earbud out of one ear. Just let the sound around you come in a little bit. Have your head up and pay attention to what's going on around you, more so than what's happening in that little device that you have or that you're droning out and not paying attention to. That type of what we call situational awareness, awareness of your environment and your surroundings, will really help you be able to use that instinct that you have about, this doesn't seem like a really safe place to walk, to be, that person doesn't feel comfortable to me, and I want to give all of our students permission to respond to that sense of, whether it's your spidey senses, your intuition, to react to those messages and create a little bit more space between people that you're uncomfortable with, and do those types of things. That type of awareness, I would venture to guess you might not know it, will help keep you safe, because the folks that are perpetrating these types of crimes are not going to see you as a victim, because you're aware, because you're responding to it, because you look at them and you create a little bit more distance. They're going to say, oh, wow, that's not an easy mark, I'm going to leave them alone.
Great. And so in those situations, people can be aware and everything, but what resources are there for people to respond to that awareness, to be active, and if they see something suspicious, what can they do to get in touch with police services? Yeah,
well, absolutely. The best thing that you can do is, if there's an emergency situation or a crime happening in front of you, is to call 911. And remember, after you hit the 3 buttons, you have to hit your call button. And you might even think about practicing that. A lot of people forget under stress that they're just used to hitting one button and it calls your friends or it calls whatever. But if you dial 911, hit the call button, you will get directed to, first it'll be the PSAP, the state police answering service, but they'll direct it right to us, and we will be able to respond and help in that emergency. So call 911. Don't text, don't email, don't update your Facebook page, don't tweet. Call 911. That's the quickest way to get the police or the fire or the ambulance to where you are. Also on campus, if you look around on campus as you're wandering around campus, take a look, and where you see those blue lights, Those are also an emergency call box that rings 911 directly into our office, locates where you are, opens up an immediate line of communication. So those blue lights are also another safety device that will give us really accurate information about where you are, and we can hear you and you can hear us, and we can communicate with you while we're sending what services you need.
Great. And so some good resources, some good numbers for students to have in their phone, you know, if they have a tip, for example, or if they see something suspicious and they may not think that it's 911 worthy,
yes.
Or they have a question about something.
Sure.
What are some of the numbers for
Absolutely. Police services is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, weekends, holidays, the hours that you're up, we're up. So you can call 802-656-3473. We'll ring right into our dispatch center. We also have a text tips, where we can receive text tips from you. They're anonymous unless you choose to identify yourself to us, but we can actually communicate back with you and find out what's going on. And to engage that, you can dial 847-411, and at the beginning of your tip, put in the keyword UVM, and then text us what information you have or that you want to share. The other opportunity that you can use too is our crime mapping, and I mentioned this before, but if you go onto the RAID site, and you can find this through our website, you can hover over an incident. It'll give you an incident number, and you can text tip right from there information about the incident or update incidents or things like that, or see what's happening on campus. So it's another way of keeping track of what's going on. And finally, if you go through our webpage, you can report a crime or whatever through an email. Again, it's anonymous unless you choose to identify yourself, so if you've been the victim of a crime, please provide us with your contact information.
Super. Thank you so much, Chief Tuomey. And we'll be putting all these resources up on our Facebook, our Twitter, and we'll be providing a link in this video to all of UVM Police Services resources. So stay safe.